Good evening. Many thanks for joining us live on QTV. You are watching QTV News, and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories. In a meeting with UK's Armed Forces Minister, Vice President Dr. Isatou Toure commends the UK's continuing support to the security sector. The Gambia may have a female vice president, but women continue to be underrepresented in politics. A forum commemorating International Women's Day addressed this. Brikama Area Council on Thursday handed checks worth over $1 million to various communities to assist a range of development projects. In sports, Qtv FC show impressive form in bouncing back from defeat in their first third division game. Those were our main headlines. Now the local news in detail. We start with a sad news on the demise of Mamour Job, the IGP of the Gambia. He passed away this afternoon, and here is a brief history of him.
We have learned of the sad passing of Alhaji Mamour Job, the Inspector General of Police. Alhaji Mamour Job was appointed Inspector General of the Gambia Police Force in June 2018. Mamour Job initially worked as a teacher and entered the service of the Gambia Police Force in 1981. After the initial training, he worked as a detective. Later, he was a teacher at the police school. After a few stops, he returned to the police school as an administrator. In 2011, he was appointed Deputy Inspector General under London Kinte. First, Job, who at this time was again employed as Deputy Inspector General, got the post of Inspector General of Police on an interim basis. His promotion and appointment were announced in June, and he was then confirmed in office 2 weeks later by President Barrow, effective July 9, 2018. In February of this year, he presided over the promotion ceremony for 65 members of the police force. May Allah grant him Jannatul Firdaus. For QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
Well, may his soul continue to rest in peace. In other news, Vice President Dr. Isatou Toure on Friday received at the State House James Heppey, the UK's Armed Forces Minister. As Aliou Cissé reports, VP Toure hails UK's support to the ongoing security sector reforms.
James Heppey, the UK's Minister for Armed Forces, was accompanied to State House by the Gambia's Minister of Defence, Sek Omar Faye, and UK's High Commissioner to the Gambia, David Belgrove. The Gambia will use the visit to share with the UK's Armed Forces Minister the areas where the country needs the UK's support, such as capacity building on counter-terrorism, among others. VP Toure welcomed Minister Heppey on behalf of President Barrow, who is on his annual leave. She described the visit as timely as the country is going through the security sector reform. She thanked the UK government for funding the Gambia's defense policy.
We already know the fineness of British Army and all the issues that you deal with in terms of ethics, in terms of progress, and also standards. So having one like you here to come and discuss these matters with the Ministry of Defense is indeed a great, great progress for us, and we will make sure we leverage on the opportunities this visit offers. I know that you have discussed quite a lot, but my appeal to you is the capacity building issue is very important. I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you for the funding of the defense policy, because you need to get an entry point before you can do anything in order to achieve the targets.
VP Toure informed Minister Heppey that the Gambia is ready for constructive engagement with all partners for the progress of the country. We want to regain the lost glory. I want to assure you that we will safeguard this democracy, she said. Minister James Heppey expressed delight to be in the Gambia as the UK shares the Gambia's ambition to see the country as a great partner of the UK in the areas of security, the sustenance of peace in the sub-region, but equally in other critical sectors.
We see real opportunity for the United Kingdom Armed Forces and for the Gambian Armed Forces to work together to our mutual advantage against threats that we both share, both at sea and on land. It seems to me that there is a lot that we can do that will be to the great advantage of both the United Kingdom and the Gambia. And we're very proud to be your great friends, and we look forward to a very bright, successful and mutually beneficial security relationship over the years ahead.
Minister Heppey also visited the Minister of Defence, the GAF headquarters, Ministry of Justice, and the GAF training school in Fajara, among others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
International Women's Day once again throws a light on the underrepresentation of women in politics. Westminster Foundation for Democracy on Friday held a forum for women parliamentarians and councillors to share their experiences as they sought election to decision-making positions. This is my report. In commemoration of the International Women's Day, the forum is organized for female NAMs and councillors to dialogue with and inspire young school children, share their experiences, and also talk about issues concerning women's rights, empowerment and inclusion, among other issues. Women are underrepresented in many professions and sectors, especially in representational politics, and Gambian being a patriarchal society, the participation of women is quite low. Generally, in politics, women are seen as cheerleaders. Honorable Tumanjai, the NAM for Banjul South, says it is time for women to take leadership roles and support one another. She further explains the challenges women face, most especially during the COVID-19.
We should always bear that in mind. How can we build back better? By not including and supporting women and the organizations and networks that represent them in the decision-making processes that will ultimately shape the world post-pandemic and in the future.
Bintu SM Jaite, a councillor for Kampama Ward in BCC, says women need to pave the way for the young generation to emulate, and also emphasized and echoed the call for women to support one another for a better representation.
The challenge is you have to be bold, stand bold, and then to fight to have your right. If we all want to say that we are going to stand back because of the stigmatization and the insult, we will never go forward. And what we are fighting for will still continue. In anything you are doing, have the courage. I have to do this and I want to do this. This is my goal. This is what I target, and that's what I target, and I will go for it.
Fatu Jalo, a councillor for Kunkujan Keteya Ward, also shares her experience of when she took the mantle of leadership.
Men support each other. Men support women. Why can't women support each other? And we call ourselves women. We said we want to empower ourselves. This women empowerment is just going to be women empowerment, but it will never be unpractical. It will never materialize because the way and manner people, discriminate each other. I face a lot of challenges. Some people were telling my husband, don't allow your wife to be a politician. Whenever she gets into politics, she will be a prostitute. That is one. Whenever she gets into politics, if she gets money, she will disappoint you.
From the dialogue, it appears that the first problem of women's underrepresentation is within them. Ellen Johnson, a member of the audience, had this to say.
On their own interest, how we can avoid the pull-down syndrome. The pull-down syndrome in women is what is setting us back. If you don't have the mindset to work as a team, to work as a body, despite which political party you are, then we will never make it.
This forum also targets law and policymakers and politicians by highlighting issues regarding laws, structures, processes, and the resources that enhance equality and non-discrimination in society. Ajibintu Dwame, QTV News. Well, quite a story there. Now, the Brikama Area Council on Thursday handed checks worth over $1 million to 4 beneficiary communities in the West Coast region. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that.
Beneficiary communities are Busumbala in the Kombo North District, earmarked for the completion of the fencing of the Busumbala Mini Stadium. Tubakuta in the Kombo East for the upgrading of the community solar water pumping system. Mahmuda in Kombo South for the completion of a community market project, and the Region 2 Education Directorate to cover 110 students across upper and senior secondary schools in the West Coast region. In his welcoming remarks, the chairperson of the Brikama Area Council, Srifo Sonko, said the presentation is part of his council's commitment to plow back 60% of the revenue collected from communities in the form of services.
Today is another history-making of the achievements of Brikama Area Council by extending our long hands to our communities. This is the promise and this is the laws of the councils by giving back 60% of tax you pay to the council. So I am therefore appealing to all of you to make sure we pay our rates and taxes and on time.
The CEO of Brikama Area Council, Modu Jonga, described the donation as worthwhile, expressing delight at the gesture and assured them of his council's continuous support and collaboration. CEO Jonga further called on the communities to pay their taxes due to the council for timely delivery of services.
This support is in line with our strategic objectives and also with our development approach, with emphasis on people taking the lead in their own development activities. On the basis of our development approach, 60% of the total revenue is committed to direct community development and promote community participation as an essential factor of success and sustainability.
The governor of West Coast Region, Lamin Sane, commended the council for the gesture and described the council as a partner in national development. He said he hoped that the money would be put to good use for the benefit of the community.
The importance of paying tax is to return back tax to the communities. This is what exactly the council are doing. I always lament that we have central government, we also have local government. The local government is our government directly under our nose, under our purview, that we can easily access whatever we need and assistance from them.
Lamin Kamara, on behalf of the beneficiaries, commended the Brikama Area Council for their timely intervention, noting that the amount donated will go a long way towards enhancing the speedy completion of the Busumbala mini market.
We'll assure you that it is something that has to do with management, and we'll make sure that we manage this fund as it's meant to be. It is not our fund, it is not our money, it's taxpayers' money, and we have to make sure that we put it into good use. This is something that has to be clearly manifested here, and I will show you that any single penny that has came in this project based on donation or whatsoever, I think at the end of the day, it will be reflect back to what it meant to be.
Other speakers include Fatou Diallo, the Councillor for Kunkujang Kete Award, who doubles as the chairperson of the Council's Education Subcommittee, the Regional Education Director Lamin Fatajo, and Aissatou Saho, a student of Kabafita Upper and Senior Secondary School. Busumbala received $250,000. Tubaguta got $488,000. $200,000 went to Mahmuda, while the Region 2 Education Director received $270,000 as well as 100 copies of social and environmental studies textbooks. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Well, we will take a short commercial break. Still to come, we have more local stories and sports news follows. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Still onto local stories. Parks and recreational facilities have been shown to improve the quality of life for residents who can access them. Over 16 years, it's supposed to be a recreational park, but this has ever been fully realized. Currently, it mostly consists of a sandy football field without a perimeter wall and is not secure. This KMC initiative is to revamp the park with recreational facilities, plant over 100 trees, install solar lights to improve security and build toilet facilities. Karamo Sise, the Councillor for Talindin South, says this initiative is laudable and calls on community members to maintain the facility for sustainability once the upgrade is completed.
My advice for the general populace that are within KMC here, Vuwazon belongs to all of us. If all of us contribute for the betterment or for the development of the Vuwazon, at the end of the day, life will be easy for all of us. But if any person come here and then you want to do certain activities here, and then you will be caught, and then when you are caught, you will be dealt with it. Because there was a time that even the metals that are fenced, that are within the premises of the fence, some people are taking it and they go and sell it to the fair.
Recreational facilities are very important to improve health and even mental and physical growth for children. In Gambia, there are less parks and are mostly less equipped. Most of them are only used for football by the youths. Talib Ahmed Bensouda, the mayor of the KMC, pledges that he will also personally contribute towards the development of the park, which is in a deplorable state.
Everybody knows KMC's parks and green spaces are dilapidated. These are areas where people should come and have some leisure time, should come and spend some productive time in sports and positive events. And really, for many years, these parks have been neglected. I have seen the state of the football post, and I will promise and pledge to the councillor that I will personally contribute to rehabilitating the post and also putting some football nets. And we are still not satisfied, because as soon as I came, the first thing I told the director of planning is the fence. We have seen the fence is broken down, and I think we should restore it to its prior glory.
Boubacar Cisse, a community member and a Bagwe returnee from Libya, thanked KMC for the initiative, saying that the project will also provide employment for youths.
I am very happy about this initiative. I have washed cars here since I returned from Libya. This is where I earn a living and feed my family.
Recreation, leisure and sports activities play an important role in communities. There are many benefits, include improving the health and well-being of individuals. Parks provide a place for children and families to connect with nature and recreate outdoors and help improve mental, social, physical and emotional well-being. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News. A day-long sensitization forum on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area for media practitioners was organized on Wednesday by the Network of Financial and Tax Reporters Gambia chapter. Omar P. Jallo reports.
The event was organized with support from UNDP through the Ministry of Trade. Welcoming the participants, Abdullah Nyoke, the president of the Network of Financial and Tax Reporters NFTR Gambia chapter, said the Sensitization Forum will give participants the opportunity to enhance their competence in business, finance and taxation reporting and data journalism. He went on to explain the authority's mandate.
The forum is organized by the Network of Financial and Tax Reporters with support from UNDP through the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. Today's event is part of the NFTR Action Plan that was developed and validated recently by this very network at a conference held at GCCI. So far, this network has implemented 3 major activities out of the 10 action plan that was developed by the network for 2021 implementation.
The Director of Trade at the Ministry of Trade, Usman Bojang, said the media has a critical role to play in complementing the efforts of the tax authority in creating public awareness on the importance of tax payment, thereby promoting tax compliance in the Gambia.
We have a national strategy on AFCFTA. We have a communication strategy. One of the elements to this communication strategy is to conduct this kind of sensitization works of targeting, groups like journalists. So when we received this initiative from them, I was happy, I was glad to partner with you guys and then conduct this particular, it's an opportunity. You actually complement our effort. You are complementing government effort in our outreach mission to reach the general public on this particular agreement.
For the media to effectively carry out its role in holding government institutions accountable and improve tax compliance and resource mobilization for the government, journalists must be adequately equipped with the knowledge on the activities of the Gambia Revenue Authority and its remit on the public. The Network of Financial and Tax Reporters, the Gambia chapter, was formed in March 2019 by journalists from various media platforms as a non-political network with the objective of closely working with tax authority with a view to raise public awareness in revenue mobilization for the government through tax collection. The African Continental Free Trade Area was founded in 2018, in which trade commenced on the 1st January 2021. It was created by the African Continental Free Trade Agreement among 54 of the 55 African Union nations. On April 2, 2019, the Gambia became the 22nd state to ratify the agreement. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Now let's take a quick look at some interesting sports story. City FC bounced back to win 3-0 against Lions of Banjul in the Banjul 3rd Division League on Friday.
A spectacular shot from a free kick by Jere Jatta gave Q City an early lead just 7 minutes into the game. A few moments later, Malanding Bojang missed a close effort after being cleaned on goal. After a brilliant interchange of play on the right, Kemo Silla found space to send his right foot shot into the net, doubling the lead for the visitors. Lions of Banjul had 2 chances late in the first half, putting 2 unmarked headers wide. Q City went into the break with a comfortable 2-0 lead. Football is a game requiring tactics, the right mentality and fitness. In combination, Q City had more of these requirements than their opponents, outplaying them for much of the game. With quick play, using possession and space resulted in a 3rd goal. It came 7 minutes after the restart when Malanding Bojang beat the offside trap after Ismaila Jammeh's long clearance. He ran, beat the keeper and put the ball into an empty net to make it 3-0. Lions of Banjul showed some flashes of good play with precision passing and running, though they would often lose the ball to their more tactically aware opponents. The KG5 pitch is in a terrible state and shouldn't be hosting matches under normal circumstances. Despite the poor condition of the pitch, Q City FC played beautiful possessional football. In a post-match interview, Abdullah Gay, coach of Lions of Banjul, blamed a lack of concentration by his players for his side's defeat.
My team wasn't steady and they weren't focused at all. That caused the game. Yeah. But we'll go back to that. But we'll go back to training ground and do some adjustment.
For Ahmad Cham, the Q City FC coach, playing at this level appears to be giving his side a learning opportunity.
Yeah, this is going to help you because we will also be looking at players that we can add on the team to continue competing for the league, and we see what will happen at the end of the season. But we'll be looking for players as we play that we can incorporate into the team and move on.
Mohamed Jah, CEO of the Q Group, who watched the match with excitement, praised the team for a brilliant performance and renewed his commitment to support the team.
The goal was really nice. I was surprised, really. It was a very professional goal, and it was pleasing to see, such a nice goal from the team. So I really congratulate the team, the boys, and I'm encouraging them to do more. I think the next match you will see even better football and probably more goals.
One of the officials overseeing the 3rd division competition in Banjul, Dembanjai, says it has been a smooth competition so far.
So far, teams are coping, and for the meantime, there is no problem we have encountered from any team. And really, teams are competing, and we have seen a very big change this year compared to the previous years, because most of the teams have time to train compared to the previous years. This year, definitely, is very competitive.
Earlier before kickoff, 20 youngsters were giving balls by the Q City team as a goodwill gesture.
Thank you, QC!
Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
In a meeting with the UK's Armed Forces Minister, Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure commends the UK's continuing support to the security sector. The Gambia may have a female vice president, but women continue to be underrepresented in politics. A forum commemorating International Women's Day addressed this. Brikama Area Council on Thursday handed checks worth over $1 million to various communities to assist a range of development projects. In sports, Q City FC showed impressive form in bouncing back from defeat in this first 3rd division. Well, that's it from me in tonight's edition. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.